What's up, guys? How you doing? In this video, I want to teach you guys how to play Pirates of the Caribbean theme as arranged by me. I have a full video of the cover on my channel, which I'd really recommend watching before we get started with this tutorial, and it should be linked up there somewhere. But yeah, let's get into it. I'm going to try to do my best explaining, what strings and frets are going to be plucked and fretted, and we're going to have tabs on screen for those of you who are a little more advanced. It is a pretty, I wouldn't say like advanced, but definitely intermediate kind of style arrangement. So, I'm not going to be going too slow with the whole tutorial thing, because if you're playing this arrangement, then you should be, pretty proficient with the guitar. But I will try to give you a little bit of maybe theory behind what's happening, and just kind of some insights as to things that you can use in other arrangements that don't just apply to this song. So with all that being said, first thing you need to know is that we are in open D minor tuning. So it's essentially the same chord shape as like open E minor in standard tuning, but basically we dropped every single string except for the 5 and 4 down a whole step. So now it's essentially like playing the open E minor shape a whole step down. So just for clarification, that'll be D, A will stay the same, D stays the same, dropped a whole step down to F on the G string. Second string is also dropped down a whole step to an A, and D for your first string. All right, so now that you're all tuned up, let's get into the tutorial. Okay, so it begins with kind of this flurry of hits to the D string. I kind of make a pick out of my fingers, kind of just pretend like you're holding a pick, really. And then I'm just using mostly my pointer finger to kind of go like hit it with the nail going down, and then on the upstroke I'm just plucking kind of between the nail and the flesh, or just the flesh of your finger. And the emphasis here is on, you have like a note, and then there's 4 little quick notes in between, and then another emphasis on that 5th note. So it's 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So we're gonna do that a total of 4 times with just the D string. It'll sound something like this. And then before we do that last note for the emphasis, now we're gonna switch it up a little bit. We're gonna go octaves with the 6th string. So that'll be, and I'm just muting the A string. I'm kind of still strumming it. So I'm muting the A string with my middle finger by just placing it on there. And then I'm also muting the 3rd string down here with like my ring finger. So that way, if I'm strum it, then it doesn't matter if I hit the 5th and 3rd strings. All I'm getting here is the 6th and 4th ring out. And it's the same exact thing, same kind of pattern. I think in the tabs I did do, so I did kind of like hit both, and then we're gonna do 2 with just the D string alone. Then 2 more with one more with the octave, 1 with the D string, 1 with the octave. So it'll sound like this. Okay, and then after that we're gonna do 2 more just with the D string alone, and then we're gonna get into the. Okay, so all together, let's just play what we have. I'm gonna go a little slow. Ready? Okay, so that part that I just played with the hammer on, we're gonna go open to hammer on 3rd fret with the middle finger on the 5th string, and then we're gonna play octaves again. So this is kind of we're kind of trying to maintain that same rhythmic in the background as we're playing this kind of melodic thing. So this melody starts off like that, as I said, and then we're gonna continue the background kind of D string buzzing. So we start with the hammer on, and now we play the octave. Gonna play the D string alone. Now I'm slapping the strings, and then I'm slapping the top, probably top 3, top 2. And now we're going to hammer on, this time 4th string, open to 2nd fret. I do this with my pointer finger. Okay, now we're gonna play octaves again, but now we're gonna be up on the 3rd fret on both the 6th and 4th strings. And then you're gonna play just the D string alone with that. slap again, kind of the same pattern as this time it's okay, and then we're gonna be sliding up from 3rd fret to 5th fret on the 4th string, and now we're playing this third interval here with the 3rd fret on the A string and 2nd fret on the 4th string. Once again, same pattern where we're playing now just the 4th string alone, slapping, and to end off this little sequence, we have open D, and then we're playing kind of the half step down from that, or whole step down from that, which is on the 5th fret, 3rd fret, 5th string, and then we're gonna slide up, kind of hitting the 6th string on that, sliding up from the 3rd fret that we were just on to the 5th fret of that A string. So all together, starting from the hammer on. Ready? All right. So once we slide up, we're gonna have a slap, and then it's gonna be pretty much the same thing, starting from that hammer on to the 3rd on the 5th string. But now instead of sliding to the 5th fret, we're going to slide all the way up to the 12th. And I'm kind of like releasing the pressure as I go up, so it's not actually like, it's more. And then as we get up there, we're going to hit the harmonic on the 12th fret of the D string. Okay, so what that's going to look like in motion, if we start from the hammer on the second time we play that, from open to 3rd fret of the 5th string. Okay, now we're gonna go, it's gonna start the same. So we're hammering on. But now instead of just hammering open to 2nd fret on the 4th string, we're gonna hammer on kind of a double hammer on, open 2nd, 2nd to 3rd. And then we're gonna slide up to octaves on the 5th fret of the 6th and 4th strings. Same pattern, hitting just the D string alone, slap, sliding up 5th to 7th fret. Now we're playing 8th fret octaves, and sometimes I play this with the open 6th string, but I think it really sounds better with the 8th fret on the 6th string there. Same ordeal, we're hitting 4th string, slap, and now we're pulling off on the 4th string from 7th to 5th. And then we're going to hit open 6th, 7th fret fretted on the 4th string. And then immediately after, we're going to hit the 5th fret of the A string. So what that looks like, we'll start at, once again, this hammer on. But now this is the 3rd time we're doing this, right? So let's see how it sounds. Okay, now we have another slap. And we're going to hammer on 5th to 7th fret on the 5th string. Now it's going to be a quick movement. We have to get down to this bar chord here, playing like an A sharp bar chord. And we're going to hit that twice. First time with both strings plucked, 2nd time just with the 4th string. And the slap like we've been doing the whole time. And now we're going to hit 5th fret quickly as we're kind of sliding up to this next bar chord shape. Playing now on the 5th fret of the 5th string and 7th of the 4th. And now instead of hitting the 4th string separately before we slap, we're going to hit the 5th string separately. And now we're going to slide down or pull off from the 5th to 3rd fret of the D string. And last but not least, we're going to end on an A, which is the dominant chord in D minor key. And we're just going to play the 5th and 4th strings together. Once again, we're going to do playing both together. Then we're playing just separately the 4th string before slapping. Except when we slap, I'm going to be kind of hitting both the 5th and 4th strings to kind of do this hammer on pull off thing. And then hitting that 2nd fret of the 4th string one last time before. And for the final bit of this segment, we're going to walk down 3, 2, 0 on the 6th string. But we're going to also throw in a couple notes in between that. So we're going to play 3rd open on the 5th and 4th strings, 2nd fret on the 6th string, and hammering on the B string before going into the next part of the sequence, which is actually kind of a repeat of what we already did, but it's just octave higher. So we'll get into that in a second. I want to play through first everything that we've learned so far, and you guys can try playing along. Okay, so now that we have that kind of lead in, we're going to start the percussion besides just the slapping. So that'll be a thump to the body of the guitar. If you can't play this at the same time in the beginning, try just learning all the rest of it without the actual thump itself, and then adding that in later. So we're going to start off by plucking the 6th and 1st strings together, and that is going to be joined with a percussive thump to the body of the guitar. And then we're going to do the same thing where we pluck the high E string and slap the guitar in succession afterwards. And then we're hammering on to the 2nd fret, leading us up to the 3rd fret, where we're going to play this like open G major chord shape kind of thing, but it's really an F major because we're down tuned a full step on all the strings that we're playing, remember? So then from there we're doing the same exact high E string, slap, and sliding up to the 5th fret, where we're going to come back down to this really cool like C sus4 kind of chord, right, with this with that F right there. It's kind of like the augmented 3rd, and we're doing the same thing, hitting that high E string once more before slapping. This time we're going to play open 1st and then the fretted 2nd string, and this is going to lead us into a slide. We're actually sliding with both those fingers, and I'm kind of doing a finger roll from the 5th to 2nd strings and everything in between. And this chord that we slide into at the top would be D minor, right, your tonic of the key. So now we kind of repeat everything that we learned in this percussive section with the higher octave. But we're going to be doing kind of that same thing in the beginning where we're sliding up. If you remember kind of in the beginning of this arrangement where we were playing just on these top strings. First time we just slid there, 2nd time we're sliding up all the way to the 12th fret. Same exact thing happening here, we're just in a higher octave. So we're playing on these high strings. Right, so we're going, that's all the same, all the way to that C sus4. And now instead of sliding up to this D minor chord, we're going to slide all the way, pulling kind of off the tension as I get up there, and then plucking that high E string at the 12th fret as a harmonic. So playing this entire percussive section as a whole, let's try it together. Awesome. So if you made it this far, you're doing fantastic. Let's get into the next kind of segment of this more percussive dramatic section. So it's going to start off the same in the beginning with this hammer on to the kind of dramatic thump. And now instead of going to the F chord here, we're going to actually hammer on kind of open 2nd, 3rd like we did so long ago over here. And now we're going to go up to a G minor chord, which would be played like this, right? That would normally be like an A minor chord shape in standard tuning, but once again we're tuned down, so that'll be G minor. Once again we're doing that thing where we pluck and slap, and we're going to hammer on 5th to 7th, still kind of maintaining that chord shape just so that we have that sustain. And now we're playing this really cool chord. It's like an A sharp major 7, except it's missing the 3rd. And once again we're going to pluck the 1st, and then slap before ultimately going down. We're going to pull off from the 7th to 5th. And now we're going to hit the 7th again. But this time we're going to accompany it by a pluck of the 6th string. So that's kind of like resolving back from the A sharp major 7 to the D minor. And then really quickly we're going to play the 5th fret of the B string right after that 7th fret on the high E before another slap. Next we're going to hammer on from the 5th to the 7th on the B string before going down and playing really the same exact chord that we're playing up here, but just different chord voicing. And that's accompanied also by a thump to the body of the guitar. And then we're going to play that same thing where we're going now playing something and then slapping. This time it's going to be more than just one string. We're actually playing those 3. I think on the tabs I listed it as all 4. You can do that. I find it a little hard after the thump to play that 5th string. And now we're going to play a quick 5th fret on the 4th string as we kind of slide our hands up to play this really cool like D minor Aug 5th. Same thing as before, we're going to play the actual chord. Now we're just plucking the B string alone and slapping, right? Pretty used to that by now. Then comes the pull off from the 5th to 3rd fret of the 1st string before playing what looks like a D7 chord shape in standard tuning. Here it's something much crazier. It's some kind of dominant, very dissonant chord that kind of leads really nicely into the open D minor. So anyways, that's going to be played with another thump to the body. And now we're doing that same thing we did a while back where we're going to do the same pluck and slap, except for we're actually slapping these bottom 2, 3 strings as we do that. And that allows us to hammer on and pull off the 3rd to 2nd on the 1st string. And I actually, I kind of follow that really rapidly with a quick pluck. So to that 1st string before once again playing the and this time on the tabs I wrote it as, instead of 6-5-4, I did 6-4-3. I often play it either way. It's not like always the first time I'm going to play 6-5-4 and then the second time I'm always going to play 6-4-3. It all just depends on what happens to flow out of my fingers at that moment. But now we get into the first new part as far as like the melody goes. So I want to take a moment to just recap everything we've went through, and let's just start from the very beginning. We'll take it slow and work our way through, see if you guys can play along. Okay, I know that was really fast, especially if you're just learning this your first time. So feel free to go to my full version, the cover, and just slow it down. Go to like 0.25 speed or whatever you need to really just work on like getting the fingering correct. And remember that slow is smooth, smooth is fast. So don't rush it. Just make sure that you're hitting the right notes and you're feeling good about what you're playing. Okay, so now we come up here. And once again, this is like a G minor type thing. We're not playing the root and the bass. We're going to be playing the 5th string instead. And we also have this pinky up on the 7th fret of the 1st string. And we're just going to do a single quick pluck of all the strings minus the 6th and 4th before coming down into this like C major type shape if you're in standard tuning. But we don't need that middle finger on the 4th string. And I'm also going to put my pinky on the 5th fret of the 1st string because we're going to be pulling off from the 5th fret to open like this. So it's kind of arpeggiated. Right, so I'm playing everything except for I'm kind of skipping over that 4th string. And now I'm bringing that pinky up to the string above, which would be a B string, and playing the 5th fret there. And that's pretty quick. That's. And now I'm kind of muting all that ringing from the arpeggio with these fingers as I kind of just rest them on the strings. And then I'm also playing that open A string. And that leads me right into this chord shape that we've seen before. Same thing, it's just a quick pluck of the bottom three as well as the sixth string. And then we're going to also arpeggiate this same chord instead of, like last time we had two different chords, this time the same chord. And then we're going to be playing kind of the seventh there and sliding down. And then hitting that fifth fret of the B string. And then just to kind of close that off, we go kind of hover around that fifth fret and just like fall down to fourth for a second before coming back up. So altogether what we just learned, starting here. Okay, now we have another new part. So we're gonna come up to the seventh fret of the high E string. And in the tabs, I write it as just plucking the sixth and first strings. And this is also accompanied by a thump to the body. We're kind of bringing the percussion back in with this part. You can also play it with all those open. I mean, this is a D minor chord, so it doesn't matter what strings you really hit here. And now we're playing something a little different. Instead of, we're going to be doing like two strings in between before the slap after this initial thump. And that'll be first to sixth, and then we're slapping while hitting that those bottom strings once again. And then I'm plucking the D string. It could be the A, it could be the B, it doesn't really matter. Before going up to the eighth and hitting the octave on the sixth and first strings, and sliding down to the seventh. And I'm also thumping as I hit that the eighth fret on those two strings. Now we're gonna go into this kind of finger picking pattern. So I'm gonna be hitting 6, 3, 2, 3, another slap. And now I'm gonna be going back up from the second to third strings, and then hitting the first. So all together. Okay, and now we're gonna be going down to this kind of like bar chord shape if we're an open. I'm also playing that like ninth, except I'm leaving both the second and third strings open, which creates kind of a cool sound because that's the third and fifth notes in our D minor scale. So it creates a cool like augmented sound that I really like. So we're gonna start off with a thump, and I'm plucking as many strings as I can minus the sixth string. And then we're just gonna slide this entire chord shape up 2 frets. So that's gonna look like, right? And now we're just gonna do that same exact picking pattern that we did earlier. But this time it's gonna be with this chord shape. Right? And now we're gonna go back to the start of that whole kind of sequence back here. And we're gonna hit this chord, but now instead of going, we're just gonna slide down a whole step, half step, and then open to the D minor. Right, that's a really good leading from that dominant to the tonic. So all together, let's play that kind of bridge-like part. That part I like down strums, just gives kind of a cool vibe. Now we get into one of my favorite parts of this whole arrangement, and we're going to start off with a hammer-on, 0 to 2 on the first string, playing the F chord, same shape as before. And now we're going to kind of arpeggiate, but we're going to put our pinky on that 5th fret of the first string before we get there, so that we can slide up to the 7th fret. And now we're gonna hit 3 and 5. That's like a 5th right there with the C and G. And then we're gonna go quickly down from the 5th fret to 3rd, 2nd, and then going back up to the 3rd with another root with the A sharp on the 5th string. And now we're gonna walk back up to the 5th fret, 7th fret, but this time we're gonna be playing up here on the 8th fret of the 5th string, and then walking down back to the 5th fret, and this one on the fifth string is just going to walk down a half step to like an E right there. So now we're playing, this is like a minor third, that's major, that's minor third. And now we're going to do this really beautiful arpeggio thing. We're going to play 5, 3, 2, and with that second string, we're going to hammer on, I don't know if you can see that, to the 7th fret. So what that's going to look like in total, starting with that F chord. And you notice when I play it, I like to kind of mute some of that like sustaining notes because it gets kind of muddy if you just leave them all ringing. So as you're going, try to kind of keep things tight. Obviously, I'm exaggerating it for teaching purposes, but you kind of get the idea, right? Now we're going to go back to our D minor chord, only fretting the 7th fret of the 1st string, and we're going to be playing 6, 3, 2, 1, walking down 5th, 3rd, and now 2nd, but that's going to be accompanied by an open 5th string. Before doing that same thing where we kind of play around the note, in this case that'd be an E, but we're going to go up to the F before playing our D minor. Now we're going to do one more thing before the full resolution, kind of playing around that D minor still. We're going to play 2nd on the 1st string, 3rd on the B string, and then we're going to do the final like resolution of the D minor. I'll try another playthrough starting after that kind of parallel descending chord progression. So now it starts kind of the same as the beginning of that section that we just went over. But now instead of arpeggiating to the slide up, we're going to do not a full arpeggio, but just 6, 3, and then we're going to play the bottom 2 strings at the same time, already having our pinky on that 5th fret and pulling off to the 3rd. Okay? And now we're going to go back to that 5th fret, dropping our pointer finger to the 3rd fret of the 5th string and taking our other fingers off. All we need is that root and 5th, and we're going to pluck those two together before going down to the 3rd fret on the 1st string. And now here I kind of put like a series of bass notes in the kind of offbeat. Okay, so that's kind of how we're going to be playing that. So you have here, and then we're going to be playing the offbeat before going back up to the 5th on the 1st string. And then we're going to go sliding up. And then once again, we're going to hit those 2 strings simultaneously before coming down a full step on the high E string. And now we're going to hit the bass note again in the offbeat, but it's not going to be fretted. We're going to actually have an open. So, and then we're going to come down to the 3rd, and we're going to play another open. This time we're going to fret the 1st fret of the 5th string with, I like to do it with my pointer. Okay, now from this epic sounding A sharp major kind of outline here, we're going to do another one of those kind of rapid hammer-ons from open to 2nd to 3rd. And then we're actually going to slide up, taking our finger off the 5th string to the 5th fret, and then we're going to use that kind of sustained note there to pull off, and then we're going to follow that with 5, 7. The 7 is accompanied by a open pluck of the 5th string, another open on the 1st string to 5th fret, down to the 3rd, once again with that A sharp in the bass, back up to 5, 3, 2, now we're going to be playing with the A, and then at last 3 to 2, and that wants to go down to the D minor. Actually, we're going to end up going up, but we'll save that for the next segment. I want to first take a time to just run through everything that we've done, starting with that hammer-on to the arpeggiated F chord in the G major shape. So, And now, like I said, we're going to slide from that second all the way up to the 7th fret. And I like timing kind of a strum to hit that first string as I get up there with my slide. Like so. And now we're going to be using all the same chord shapes that we've already seen before. So we're going to start here with 2 down strums, up strum as I take my finger off, and then I'm going to slap that kind of gives me a pause and a chance to change chord shapes back up to this guy, which would be like our A sharp major once again. And that's just a single down strum. And then we're going back to this kind of bar chord like shape, except we're leaving the 3rd and 5th of the D minor scale open in those 3rd and 2nd strings. And we're going to be playing just kind of a triple strum. I like to down strums before a 4th and final that brings us down, slides to the 3rd fret on your root, which would be your 5th string. And now here we're kind of still descending. So that's the same chord shape. Right, I like doing kind of 2 down, 1 up. And then we got the same shape here. No need for our pointer finger anymore, so that's open. And we're actually gonna do like a little, it's kind of like a flamenco style thing, right? If you're playing like standard tuning, you'd be down here with your E. And then if you kind of slide up, right, without fretting the bar, kind of gives that really dissonant sound that leads really well into the D minor. And that's pretty much it. Then we're going to just do the same thing. Once again, we're going to kind of just slide up by hammering on and then sliding up. And now here, instead of just going, I like to do kind of a quick slide up all the way up to the 8th fret of the root note on your 5th string, and then come back down. So that's a really fast change to make, and it doesn't really sound so good if you don't get it right. So it's kind of a difficult one, your choice whether or not you want to use that. And then the rest is pretty much the same. Feel free to like spice this kind of rhythm part up as you see fit. And then to end it all, we play 2, 3 on the 2nd, and then I slide up to play the harmonics on the 3 high strings and have that bass note in the 6th string. So that is all. Now I want to do a playthrough of that last part, starting with the slide up from the 2nd fret. So I'll start like a measure before. And that's it. You guys learned the entire song. So congrats on your accomplishment, because this is a difficult song to master. And this arrangement particularly is not very kind to the beginner fingerstyle guitarist. And I'd like to hear you guys' opinions in the comment section down below as to whether or not you'd like to see more of these types of videos where I'm doing tutorials on, songs or movie themes or whatnot of arrangements that I've made in the past or that are recommended by you guys to make in the future. And if this is something that you'd like to see more of, then let me know. Obviously, this is the first tutorial, so far from perfect. I hope that it was good enough for you guys to learn and take out something to put in your musical toolkit. But yeah, so once again, thank you guys for watching, and just let me know what you think. I will see you guys in the next one.